And we're back. Couple wards going down. No action just yet. Tad bit of poke and some vision.
But yeah, to keep going about the runes, we we see some spicy runes for Mad City in the bot lane. We also see a Dark Harvest here on the Lilia. Have to see how she could stack that up. It's Summon Airy for Lulu in the mid lane. Makes a bit of sense here. Phase Rush for the Victor. Pantheon did not take the Ignite into Cho'Gath, so that could just be a farm lane. Try, it's really up to Django to just keep the lane bouncing back and forth so he can farm up and become tanky. I don't think he wants to scrap with the Pantheon, but if he can get a couple good trades and use that lane sustain I was talking about earlier, he can maybe find an HP advantage on the Pantheon to force a bad recall and possibly look for a TP advantage as we are off try. Week 2 hype.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this mid lane matchup goes. I think it's going to be a lot of farming, a lot of poke, and a lot of jungle assistance.
Definitely. Both junglers starting on the bot side and looking to full clear, so they're going to meet each other for that top crab pretty soon, unless one of them wants to do a bot clear into a gank or an invade. I doubt it. These junglers are both full clear jungles, so track them as they path mirrored here and head to the same side of the map pretty soon. We'll have to see if either of them will visit mid on their way up or if they will stay in their own jungles.
I have a feeling we're just going to see a full clear from both junglers. It does look like Lilia is now pathing into her red buff quadrant over there, so I'm going to predict same thing from Hecarim.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing is Lilia will get to the top side first because she doesn't have to clear Krugs because they are on the red side here this game.
So the question is, will Hecarim be spotted out by that ward on his Gromp? Lilia was spotted out by the ward on her Raptors. I don't know how long until that ward will expire. I didn't catch when it was placed, but it does look like they're going to catch vision of Hecarim right now. So they do know that both junglers are topside.
Yep, both teams are aware of the pathing here, which makes it a very interesting game. We just saw Cho take a nice trade against Pantheon because Pantheon sustain is in the form of that corrupting potion plus biscuits, whereas Cho'Gath sustain is pretty much infinite. But we do see Pantheon up to a big CS lead as Cho'Gath is collecting some of the creeps under his tower. And it's really going to be about what are the junglers' next move. So Lilia making an early move to the bot side here. This tells me she does not want to contest Hecarim for the top crab. She'd rather trade, take the bot crab for herself, but we see Hecarim actually doing the same thing. Lilia with the push in the mid lane means Hecarim can path through mid without being spotted. I think they might meet each other at this crab here, or Lilia could just forego the crab, look for a gank as blue team's bot lane is pretty far ahead. The
Here
bowling
comes
ball
Hecarim.
will
This
miss.
could turn into a 3v3.
Her bot lane would have needed to snap engage there with probably Alistar Flash to make that a gank, but the Hecarim would have been right around the corner as they do meet. Hecarim forcing the Lilia flash is very significant. If they go ahead and time that around the 9-minute mark is when it will come back. They can look to make a play around that, look for a frag. See Cho'Gath and
Little
Pantheon.
baby Cho doing a lot of damage there, but it ends up being an even trade.
They find the Lilia again. The Maokai's on her. No flash. The Ignite will go down, but
Oh, this is what I like to see.
Blue team in a 4v4 already. The first red member looking to go down. That's Lulu taking out the Alistar who goes too low. Maokai with a re-engage. Blue team with 2 frags for 1 already. The Jhin was able to pick up a kill. Another red member looking to go down, but traded again. The Victor will kill the Hecarim. It looks like blue team is going to clean up this Jhin as well. Flash for flash. I'm sorry, that's a Victor who puts down his W and gets away with a red buff bear.
Wow. That is what I like to see. Game 1 of Week 2 in Season 2 LSS starting off with a banger, just right into a double TP play, a 4v4 in the bot lane. Wow,
right.
That's what I'm talking about.
A crazy fight already. Trades of multiple sums, multiple kills, and at the end of the day, it's a 3-for-2 trade, I think, for blue team with the Victor. Watch how he barely gets away here with his W down and his flash. The red buff healing had to come in clutch there as we see Alistar looking to bop away the Ashe, but that could kill him now because the Ashe auto's on him. There's no aftershock for this Alistar. He's extremely squishy and is able to flash.
And now I'm looking back, I just realized Pantheon did TP top lane, so that was not a double TP play. I miscounted some members of Red Team. But all in all, great start to this game. We're looking at 3-3 with McMaster's having about a 2K gold lead now.
Yeah, and 2 of the kills on the Lulu, so it's great for us that the interesting mid lane pick is going to be getting
Yeah,
off
yeah.
to a nice start here and will not feel too much pressure from the Victor unless he goes ahead and uses these double buffs to his advantage. We'll have to see if Lulu can get away with a recall because Lulu did have to use her TP recently. The wave is pushing into Victor's. Could be a gank call from Mark Boots here telling Lilia, hey, Lulu wants to get this wave in, and that's where Lilia is now. So yeah, actually Lulu in an incredibly risky situation here. We'll see she gets the wave and is able to walk away without the Lilia gank. I think the timing from the two mid members could have been better, but try to
Yeah,
remember we talked about that's not a Rek'Sai, it's not a Elise. You can't just the ganks from the Lilia are not that potent yet until she gets that
not till she
6.
hits 6, and then she has to sleep. But with Lulu's HP there, I mean, maybe she should have jumped on that play a little earlier when she pushed up for that wave, but maybe she was unsure. They didn't have vision of Hecarim, possibly. They
That's a
didn't
good
want to
point.
make an overstep into more kills for blue side.
That's a great point, Try. Just as well as Mark Boots could have been calling for the gank, the Lulu could have been calling for a
Yeah,
cover
and Lulu
from
was
her
level
jungle.
6 there as well, so you don't want to take the gank into the Lulu with ulti and potentially the Hecarim.
That's right, as we see the Pantheon and Cho duking it out. You see Pantheon wins these trades heavily, and now is where that blue wave here is coming towards the Pantheon. He needs to zone the Cho from those creeps so Cho can't sustain and continue that aggression here to get the most out of your Pantheon. Pantheon, with an early kill, he killed Cho'Gath. We must have missed that,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
I like what we're seeing here. The team moving together, taking the blue buff, and now support in jungle on McMaster's taking down the dragon.
Yeah, first strike going over to McMaster's University. That's great to see for them. Not too much of a worry for red team. They can look to maybe invade the top side as a response. Get camp advantage here on the Lilia. First strike, not the most significant, but it does start the clock for an eventual soul for McMaster's University. That's where they're looking. So here's Lilia with the answer invade. As soon as Drake goes down, Lilia knows she can go into that blue quadrant relatively safely. Spots a ping, clears it, and will retreat her. 2 of her red camps are up, but I think she does want to go ahead and take that.
Cho's spotted on a ward here, and we see Victor and Lilia kind of making their way towards the blue buff, so she definitely wants that back. But Cho clearing that ward, and now the rest of the team is making their way up. So I think they're going to need to be careful here. It looks like she's just grabbing the scuttle and moving on.
I think it might be a fight for Herald, as we see Hecarim's in his blue quadrant.
Correct. The Herald is started here.
Okay.
I don't think they know. I didn't know.
The Pantheon priority means that Mad City will be able to answer first strike with first Herald, and that's a really nice trade there. You'll go ahead and take that try. Another thing we often see in pro games is both teams will send their support up to top lane for this moment in the game, this 8-minute Herald. After Drake reset, we would have seen Maokai run up there and maybe an Alistar response. Both teams kept their support in bot lane this game, and as a result, Herald will just be traded over to Mad City. And try if you can use that Herald to get knocked down a couple plates. The gold that you get in the plates will be better for your team than just that first strike. And it's up to your team, if you're the Herald team, to use that gold to get further advantages.
Yeah, agreed. And taking it this early gives the opportunity to get it a second time before Baron spawns and potentially making more plays out of that. I like what we're seeing here in the mid lane. The Lulu having a lot of pressure on him, if we noticed before, getting a pretty decent poke down and just farming away.
Yeah, she's definitely a viable laner. She has ways to trade, ways to deal with the wave. She's not exactly strong in many senses.
Yeah.
Unless her Hecarim is near, then she's a very strong champion. But I will say for Victor to be able to just trade waves is very good for the Victor too. Victor does not mind this lane at all because he can kind of safely clear it here with his E as we see, and there's no real kill threat from just the Lulu. So Victor is scaling away here just fine.
So what are you thinking here as far as team comps go for the late game? I think Mad City needs to worry about the game going too late. They have the Pantheon who potentially is going to fall off a bit, while Cho and Ashe are just going to get stronger and stronger, and then they have this extra support in the mid lane to only back them up further. They have the Lulu ult, they have the speed up for Hecarim. The Maokai ulti, like, that seems like a team that Mad City with their comp does not want to 5v5. on, after mid game.
Yeah, I think for Mad City, they are extremely strong across the board at 2 items, and that's especially Lilia. I think
Hmm.
Lilia at 2 items is a disgustingly strong champion. Her issue is her lack of gank potency prior to getting 6, and she's strong at 1 item, but this mid game for Mad City is crazy strong, and then they have the Victor kind of insurance policy if it goes late. Whereas I would agree with you in terms of overall scaling. I like McMaster's University's comp. I think it has the tools, the CC, the rundown
Oh,
potential, and the Hecarim.
and there was that damage. Lulu getting chunked completely out of lane by Victor rotation while they drop Herald.
Yeah, and we see the gold going over to the Victor and the Lilia. This will increase the rate that they get those 2 items, and it's so important on Victor, who's farming up 8 to 9 CS per minute here. My eyes are going to be on Mark Boots here to probably carry the late game if it gets their try, and it looks like it might because the
Django
game is
goofing
close.
around up here, looking like he's going to get stuck in a 3v1 scenario. I'm not sure what led to this, but going for the int. Will
Yeah,
he get the execute? I don't think he's gonna.
he won't be executed.
Ah,
It will go over to Innominant in the top lane. That Pantheon now 2-0. He sees a bounty on top of his head. And we see a fight in the bot lane here. The Alistar will go in, but no aftershock means he
Here comes the
absolutely
Lulu TP.
drops. TP comes in. It's the Lulu. She can't save the Maokai, but now it's Lulu Ash. They should win this 2v2. Both bot laners from Mad City will drop. Thanks to the Lulu TP in support of that play.
and getting a double kill on Ash here. I think that's great for them. As that play was happening, I'm thinking, let the Ash get the kills here, not the Lulu. Oh, that was close.
She maybe, if she has flash.
Yep.
And that will be Ash shut down by Lilia. Overall, I think that is a 2-for-2 trade. The Alistar and who was it? Alistar and Jin will go down in exchange for Maokai and Ash and a Lulu TP. So
Correct.
blow for blow is this match so far. It's what we expected and hoped for, and here it is.
Yeah, these are the games I like to see, neck and neck all the way through.
And now, it's Drake number 2 being started by Red Team this time around. Mad City does not want McMaster to start the timer, but Hecarim will bop over. He goes in and steals it and R's his way out. The TP comes in, but they might just call peel off because they got what they needed, and that's Drake 2 for McMaster's University. Great job by Skiro on the Hecarim to go in, steal that, and fly away in the onslaught.
I think we're missing a bit of that edge there. As Sekiro takes it there.
And that's 2 Drakes, McMaster's University, with pretty even gold here. They're actually down 600, but tried, I think, a lot because of those plates that they got from Herald. So we kind of can see a dead even game here, 6-6 in kills.
Mm-hmm.
And first completed item on the board is going to be a Blade of the Rune King for the Pantheon. This is very interesting. It's a risky build. He can now probably kill the Cho'Gath from one mistake with that board. But at the same time, he's going to be so squishy in the mid game that if Hecarim can get his hands on him, if Ash can tag him up and there's no response, he will drop so fast. Another member that is just dropping extremely quickly every time a situation happens is Jiggity on this Alistar. I think the lack of Aftershock actually punished him pre-6.
Yeah, now he is 6-0, so
Yeah.
you would hope that... Oh,
There's
already
a
right
nice
into
play.
it.
The support top jungle invade here being sussed out. The Lilia will continue the fight here. Tag with another Q. She's quick enough to do that and get away. A few members rotating up to the action. Both teams want to clear out vision in this river and get back to their lanes. And now we see Lulu laning with the Pantheon. This is a great move, a great rotation from McMaster's University to have her up there where she's just a lot harder to kill.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing. The pressure for her to kill him is low, but
She can kill the Pantheon here because he has Bork. And when he W's on her, she just polys. Is this the rundown? The Lulu Flash will get the Pantheon shield out.
Oh, but she misses the Q. I don't think it's going to be a kill. If she hit that Q, she would have had it. Over-predicted the juke by Pantheon, unfortunately, but well played.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily what I was expecting. I was thinking it's a good swap. He's not going to be able to kill her. If she has ulti, she's got polymorph. I did not think she was going to be able to turn it and chase him out of lane.
Yeah, when the Pantheon W'd, in his W, he was polyed, right? So he doesn't get that extra autos. Wait a second, is this a dive angle? The Asher will come out, tag the Jhin. The Maokai root comes in. They will take out Jiggity here on the Alistar, who was just too low to be there with the dive threat. We see the Cho'Gath is in there, their new mid laner. AO Django here to back up the Hecarim now. As we see Victor will drop the Chaos Storm, and Jhin will get the shutdown with the sniper bullets. That is huge.
So that's going to be a 1-for-1 now.
Yeah, dive play that was successful, but ends up getting punished, and we see some of that sapling damage. Wait.
Yeah, actually.
And that's pre-item completion. That is pre-Imperial Mandate. And what do you know, Try? Ashe is on her way to a mandate of her own. This is going to be a double Imperial Mandate bot lane. Pretty insane. So now you have this utility Ashe who has AoE, slowing damage and healing to, I think it's all about the Hecarim at this point. Every piece other than the Hecarim is now here to support the Hecarim in its success.
So when we do see Cho'Gath going back to the top lane, and Lulu returning mid, and going back to their standard lanes, but a lot of pressure here on MAAD, getting into the jungle, trying to take this blue, getting vision down.
We see Pantheon opening up on Cho'Gath. That Bladely Rune King is going to work, but we see the Hecarim will engage. The Maokai will zone away his support. Now he's in a 2v1 over the wall and will go down. We see the Alistar goes over the wall to support. The Victor helping over the wall as well, but we see the Lulu ulti on the Hecarim. This is really hard to deal with. Alistar will drop again. Hecarim will continue to pursue the Lilia, and it looks like it could be. Wait a second! That would have
so
been
close.
Really nice.
From the mid lane, shooting the ult, just barely missing the Lilia here. But does this play mean that McMasters is going to secure the Herald?
Yeah, and we see here on this Monster Energy reaction report, look at just the Lulu ulti on the Hecarim, and that continued support can polymorph whoever he's fighting, can speed him up. This combo is just so deadly. We see the Ashe arrow barely missing. That would have been very lethal and would have been a beautiful snipe. As we see blue team getting the first shot, but here's a Pantheon re-engage. Will stun up the Maokai. He might drop. He roots himself away and does go down to Burai on the Jhin, and that's Mad City clapping back again.
Yes, and they do get Ashe Flash as well, so they're going to need to be careful with this Ashe. I mean, I think they have a lot of CC, but McMasters does lack a bit of mobility other than the Hecarim, so.
Yeah, that's a good point, Try. You have these kind of stationary supportive pieces with a Hecarim that kind of flies in, right? You need to maintain your distance between your supportive pieces and your Hecarim. Tricky to do sometimes. And when you have a Pantheon who can just R in the middle of the map, that can shake things up in this game.
Most definitely. We see Alistar here just clearing out a pink and pit. Dragon is up in 22 seconds. Going to be a air Drake. Let's see. We do see them move. I mean, look at this vision. It's going to be difficult to gain control. They have 12 seconds before it's up, but I think we're going to see another brawl here. Pantheon in the top lane does have TP, no ulti. Remember, no flash on Ashe.
Yeah, I'm expecting Pantheon to TP in as soon as something breaks out. Even that Herald dropping could signal a TP for Pantheon to go ahead and come down, join this, because this fight
Pantheon
is so
looking at TP right now,
crucial.
I think.
So crucial right here. Does McMasters get Drake number 3, or does Mad City go all out and contest? It looks like they're going to just burst it down. They're giving Drake
number 3. They are.
3.
So Pantheon staying top for the push. They did get mid tower with that Herald, so a good play all in all for McMasters. They are going to lose mid for this, but I think it's a worthwhile trade.
Yeah, McMasters so far giving 3 Drakes and Herald, so objective control. I'm sorry, Mad City giving that. So objective control for McMasters has been on point here so far, but we do see Mad City's rushing tier 2 mid just on the reset from that Drake number 3 play. Will not get the mid turret, but showing that they're willing to trade in numbers. Now McMasters en route to about a 24-minute or so. Cloud Soul, a lot of teams when they get Cloud Soul, they're like, oh, rats, of course it's Cloud Soul.
Yeah, with that being said, though, I think Cloud Soul is actually great for McMasters here with their comp. They could use it. It's good on the Hecarim. I mean,
It's great on the
I think
Hecarim.
it's good on everyone besides maybe Ash, right? Like Cho, I guess, doesn't get that much of a benefit out of it,
You know,
but
this is a conversation that is had so often from teams because every time it's Cloud Soul,
it's like who gets the value?
the team who's giving it is like, guys, it's just Cloud. But then one
Yeah.
of their players would be like, well, it's really good on Hecarim.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, it's not that good on Ash. But, well, at least it's not Mountain. So it is really hard to say. But, you know, McMasters will be happy with that Soul at 24 minutes, no matter which one it is. And, yeah, you make a point. The Hecarim with the Cloud Soul will be going fast.
Zoom, zoom.
Now a bit of a lull state here. We'll have to see lane assignments. We'll have to see Baron prioritization because Baron is up and try. What do we know about high-level teams in this league? As soon as that Baron
It's Baron
spawns,
time, baby.
it is on. You down one member. Cho'Gath here with the silence opens up on the Alistar. Look how squishy.
A
He
few
is,
more.
gets him to half
Okay, he
health.
needs to be careful here if he gets caught. Exactly what you're saying. Let's say he gets that Alistar. It's a Baron for McMasters. Without, if he gets picked there because he oversteps, then it's a Baron for Mad City.
It's a
Um,
Baron look, and it would have to be a four-man contest from Med, or I'm sorry, yeah, from Med City, which could spark just an ARAM at Baron that could last 5 minutes until Night
yeah.
Drake is up, and those are some of the more exciting games. But we'll see if teams just farm it out. We see Victor up in the top lane here, which tells me, yep, Pantheon will be bot now again with the Lulu,
So
and their bot lane will be mid.
I'm concerned about this play here because Lulu being sent bot lane with Pantheon. Pantheon has TP, Lulu does not. So they are going to be a man down if there's stuff going on at Baron here. So they're going to need to be careful. Pantheon with ulti as well.
Alistar with the QW combo will get the Maokai flash. It's pretty important.
So,
You see
oh
Pantheon
no, Lulu
engaging
getting
on
caught
Lulu.
here.
I don't know what happened to the polymorph there, but it seemed like it only lasted a half a second. That's Lulu flash now. So Maokai Lulu flash is not up till about 26 something. And that's really important. Mad City, I think could look for either tier 2 mid or a nice pick at Baron on one of those members who are now flashless.
Yeah, so they are making their way towards Baron here. I think they know teams have to back. They've got a flash or two. If they pressure this, they do have the advantage.
So now is it going to be a 5-man start with 5 enemies up? That would be pretty crazy at 22 minutes because the armor and MR reduction and the damage from Baron is usually too much for one comp to sustain, while the other 5 approach, you usually have to have a man down or something. They're looking for a face check here. They're kind of baiting this. But it is Ayo, it's Django. As we see a Pantheon ulti flank, he'll go in 1v3. He might just drop instantly, and he does. He stuns up the Lulu and the Hecarim. Lulu Hecarim can win this fight outright for blue team as we see Victor caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. This could be a blue team Baron as we see
I think
Lily
it is.
and
They are
Jhin
starting Baron right now.
are retreating. That Pantheon engage into the Lulu onto 3 I think was suboptimal because of the risk of polymorph and just the fact that Pantheon, yes, really strong at 2 items, but not the champion that can 1v3
Yeah,
right
I think
there.
the concern there, I think the misplay there was like right as Pantheon ulted in for the back line, the rest of Mad City could not push up because Maokai sent the ult in
counter
their
engage.
path. The counter engage was too strong.
We see red team putting together an answer. They're going to send a TP. They have Lilia on the outside here. She can wreak havoc as well. We see Pantheon going
Another
in.
TP. Victor
Gets
TP.
the Lulu ulti, is peeling away. No shield. He will probably drop quickly as we see an all-out brawl. It looks like it's red team favored. There's shutdowns everywhere. Lilia with the double kill, and that's going to be
Oh,
Blue
and the
City
turn.
coming into clean
What are you
up
going to do, Cho? What are
Baron.
you going to do? I thought he was looking at taking that plant. Oh, man, risky business.
He goes and he says, I will die alongside my teammates. No man left behind to survive. He wants to join his friends on the gray screen, and Mad City with an absolute clapback response coming in with the Pantheon teleport along with a very nice Lilia flank by Kessel. Who I
What a
believe was
turn.
Masters
So
Plus.
Lilia taking Dragon now. So taking away that Dragon Soul from McMasters as well as getting the gold lead off of that play with Baron. That is huge. This could be the turning point in this game for Mad City. Can they keep this pressure up with Baron and take away the game?
Great question, trying huge swing of events here for Mad City now. Lulu looking to, or I'm sorry, Lilia looking to complete her second item, and Victor scaling well into this game, farming pretty decently. We see Jin working on his third item as well. So the comp is going to be online for Mad City soon here. And yeah, the scaling threat of the Lulu Hecarim with all that CC, the team fights are going to be hard to navigate, especially for Pantheon here with Bork. But nevertheless, when Lilia gets as 2 items, so she's on Zanya's now. This Lilia is extremely well poised to impact this game.
McMaster's here kind of staying grouped. I think at this point in the game, they want to stick together as best they can and potentially get picks on anybody who's singled out. We see Cho'Gath and Pantheon in the bot lane, Lulu making her way up to top, grab his farm, push the lane out.
Yeah, so try in terms of comeback mechanics and making picks, this Ash Arrow gets to be a disgustingly low cooldown, something like 30 to 40 seconds, right? So McMasters could just play for that Drake soul and contest nothing except Drake, and then in the meantime just look for Ash Arrow picks, right? So it's a comeback mechanic that you have on this Ash. We'll have to see how they utilize it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, the utilization of how you utilize that Ash ult is big. A lot of times you see people trying to make crazy long-range plays with Ash ulti that, you know, it either misses or it doesn't play out. People aren't there to react in time. You know, sometimes you gotta step back and say, okay, I don't gotta be flashy. You just have to hit it on the right number at the right time to prevent, like, as a counter engage potentially. That's how you could come back from
it could be. It definitely
pick.
could be. I think something like right here where you see the Maokai around the corner here, if you were to hit a Ash Arrow on, say, Jin and Maokai maybe flash onto him, they could delete the Jin. It's just Mad City is looking scary and poised here, utilizing this Baron buff in multiple lanes. Like a pick on Victor could be possible here as he's pretty far up. He has covered by Pantheon, but I think McMasters can shrug off that Pantheon.
I do too.
About now in this game.
A lot of vision here for Mad City in the blue side jungle. Maokai taking some of those wards out. What are we seeing here? I see Pantheon making his way back towards bot lane again. Maybe they could get a pick on him here. Cho and... Okay. They don't have vision of him, so...
Yeah, and I think we see McMasters in sort of a defensive state, right? Because every 5 minutes they get a shot at soul, whereas Mad City has to just stack clouds just to prevent the soul, right?
Yeah.
So it's a more benefit for McMasters every time that objective is up.
To just
what
stall.
Mad City wants to do is go to the Drake, hope McMasters can test, and then kill them all and break base. Or they can look to play for Baron, which is up in 2 minutes.
And the game is so close that it could be anybody's fight here. In a lot of our past games, when we are at this point and people are trying to defend these Drakes, we see such a lead on one team that it's like a desperado play. It's now or never. We're not in that scenario yet in this game, and I think we're going to see a lot of action over all of these objectives, and I think it's going to be pretty damn close.
Yeah, that's a great point. It could be anyone's fight. So McMasters University doing a good job slowing the game down, right? Because I don't think they want too chaotic of a game, especially when Mad City walked away with Baron. It's all about these two objectives, the Cloud coming up and the Baron up about 15 seconds after. So a question of which objective, which team will prioritize. Because if Mad City all rush for Baron and then McMasters go take Cloud Soul, they trade that. Once the Baron is gone, if you're not breaking base, then McMasters can be happy with that Cloud Soul afterwards. But that's looking pretty far into the game. So we have to see how these next moments will flush out.
Yeah, we have 35 seconds on Cloud Drake here. Ash is resetting. Cho is resetting as well. I think they need to... This might be a little late. I know they had to get those waves out, but I think they need to be making their way towards Drake right now to try and have control of the river. And as we see at this point, they've already lost it. We have Pinks down, as well as members of Mad City hanging out in their quadrant of the jungle here, and it's going to be tough to retake control.
Yep, here comes the retake here. It starts with Cho'Gath here, who's just going to walk in and probably eat everything, face check. But Ash Arrow will get the Victor flash. Now he can be targeted. The Hecker multi will go wide, but he gets on to Victor. He's forced to peel away and gets stunned up. Now this is a re-engage by a red team. The Pantheon will go in and get the Lulu ultimate. That Lilia is very low, but she gets stopwatch here. This looks like possibly a red team fight on the re-engage. Cho will drop, and that Pantheon proving me wrong, doing a lot of work. That Ash poke will peel them off, and this is going to be another Mad City Drake. It's all about Baron now. Try. The blue team, McMaster's University, needs their members to respawn and get to Baron in time, or Mad City will look to set that up next. And if their fate is similar, it will just be both neutrals going over to MAAD, and that's not what
be
McMaster's
careful here.
doing.
Pantheon looking for another, but they're taking that Drake and getting out. If we take a look again at this play here,
Yeah, so
caught it a little bit late, but I think after that Ash arrow had missed, you did burn the flash, but I think it was a little aggressive there by Heckram. I'm not going to lie.
The fundamental mistake, I think, was the Heckram Onslaught of Shadows missing the Victor. He opts to still take the E on the Victor, gets stunned on his way out. Now he cannot really participate in the fight for a few seconds. Meanwhile, the Pantheon found the Lulu, forced Lulu's ulti onto herself. Now there's no Lulu ulti for Heckram as he's peeling out, and it was just a red team fight win after that. Really well played by Mad City.
Yeah, and we see Mad City here up 5k gold, up 2 kills, and only down 1 Drake at this point. So still neck and neck here.
You know what I want to point out, Try, by Mad City, a very beautiful display. The give 3 Drakes and still win the game strategy, because teams cannot ever do that. Teams will think, we have to fight Drake 2, and then they'll die, and then the game gets snowballed. Or Drake 3, we have to fight. No, Mad City gave 3, as we see a fight possibly breaking out. The Alistar here in the front line with the Cho'Gath. I think blue team is actually lined up pretty well here. We see the Heckram will go in, but gets stunned up again, but they might be able to get Allie for free. Red team, a nice double knock-up by the Cho'Gath. Lilia forced away. Is this a blue team win? As we see, Heckram will drop. No shield from Lulu. Pantheon doing his best in the front line, but will go down. It's a 2v2 now. The flash 4th shot for his triple. Needs to reload as Lulu can stand her ground, and a 4 for 3.
Wow, Jin just getting back, pulling open the curtains, and just blasting down McMaster's University, picking up a double kill with his ulti, and then a 4th shot taking out, I forget who the last member there was, Ash maybe? And wow, turning that fight so hard with a triple kill. It's looking really, really tough here for McMaster's now. Red team making their way towards the Baron, and I think can they start it with this much time or not?
I can't see the exact numbers on the death timers, but I think
you got about under 10 seconds for everybody on the side of McMaster's, but it does look like they're going to go ahead and start it.
You start this so that you force a check, and then you can fight the check if you want. So TP comes in. Everybody knows what's going down here.
I think we're going to see the Pantheon TP as well.
Lulu and Cho'Gath are going in first. Lulu can support the Cho so that he doesn't go down instantly. But wait, a Pantheon TP will zone the Lulu, and now AO at Django is 1v5. He just goes down, and it's going to be back to Baron for red team. But wait a second. Pantheon finding himself in a similar situation, 1v3, but will barely escape. Gets tagged up by the Ash, who uses her arrow to execute. Now Heckram in a bit of trouble, and here's the Jin. We know he can clap here. He gets stunned up by the Maokai, who will probably just die for that. But does he get the Jin on his way out? He does not. Barai going legendary. Red team advancing. And that's Mad City.
What a play. It's going to be another ace for Mad City. Do they push here, or do they go back to the Baron?
I think you can maybe push grab inhib and rush straight to Baron and rinse and repeat that entire sequencing, because when you start the Baron, it really forces a check that is less organized than most teams would want, and you can go ahead and punish that. But if they look for an end here, I can't see exact timers.
Yes,
it's
an end. It's going to be an end. We're going to see game 1 going over to Mad City. There's no way Cho'Gath can stop all of them, especially with this Alistar in his face. And
wow,
that's a comeback if I've ever seen one.
That is really well played by Mad City.
Wow.
And I just remember trying to best of 3.
Yes.
Let's go.
Wow, that is what I'm talking about for game 1 of week 2.